Everyone wants, there's like the Holy Grail, a Bitcoin ETF, that doesn't exist. Your fund, GBTC, is kind of the closest that exists out there in terms of this liquid institutional exchange traded vehicle for buying Bitcoin. But talk to us about this next step. What does it mean it's going to be reporting to the SEC, and how does that move the ball forward for investors?
So Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, ticker GBTC, has been quoted on the OTCQX market since the middle of 2015. And it is consistently one of the most liquid securities there. And so what we're seeing from investors is really tremendous demand for access products for assets like Bitcoin. And so the 3-month trailing trading volume in GBTC has actually tripled year over year. So voluntarily submitting this Form 10 to the SEC can really do, I think, 3 things for the product.
Okay.
I think number 1, it moves the conversation forward with regulators. This could become the very first digital currency investment product that's SEC regulated. I think 2, we start opening ourselves up to some new institutions that may be able to only invest in a SEC reporting company, in an instrument that has that level of disclosure. And then it also speeds up the liquidity timeframe for some of our private shareholders.
When you talk about some of the investment firms potentially getting more interested, how are the demographics changing with regards to the types of investors that you're seeing?
Well, I think over the course of 2019, for sure, we saw early in the year more institutional interest, and that's only gained momentum throughout the year. I'll say in Q3, 84% of our inflows were institutions. So hedge funds, endowments, pensions, really everyone except sovereign funds are represented by the Grayscale family of products. And we're seeing investors come across the entire suite. We have a product for Bitcoin, for Ethereum, et cetera. There's 10 products now in the Grayscale family.
It's interesting that, of course, you're not the only one seeing this desire to get in and get exposure to liquid assets within crypto. Simple access is something that Galaxy, which is run by Mike Novogratz, has also been highlighting. They've put out their own competitive product. It's going to be slightly cheaper, they say. How competitive is it out there for you? And is it a pie that therefore gets divvied up, or does the pie get bigger for all of you?
There are a lot of seats left at the table and a lot of food on the table. The kinds of demand that we're seeing both on the institutional side as well as trading in our publicly traded products, there is going to need to be other firms out there that are offering access to the asset class. And we think the more of them that are out there that can really open those gateways for investors, the better.
One of the things we're also seeing is that just like in the traditional finance space, fees already collapsing for Bitcoin trading. In the end, and there's commissions, but in the end, is this going to go the way of everything else where whether it's an ETF or a trust or trading, there's just not a whole lot of actual money to collect in fees?
I think the early days of where we are in this asset class, because again, we are in early days, you are going to see businesses ramping up, and so there are substantial costs. There's legal costs, there's custodial fees, all the service providers around this. And so I think over time, sure, fees will get compressed, but maybe not on the near-term horizon.
And by then, your Bitcoin holdings personally will be so much that you're not going to worry about it.
I don't know about that.